What I just actually I forgot to mute I forgot to mute the YouTube window at first. I had an echo out of nowhere, but
Oh, for
great start to the stream, y'all. What is up, everybody? Lindy ends zone for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Eagles one video at a time. And I drop buckets for my Dallas Mavericks. I know the Eagles and a Dallas team. It doesn't mesh very well, but I love my Mavs. But this is going back to the Eagles schedule recon series on my channel. I'm excited to continue to be able to do this. We got two streams today involving the segment, but the first one today, week two, the Eagles face for their home opener, the San Francisco 49ers. And I have an awesome guest here today that volunteered to be a part of this and represent the 49ers, a good friend of Philly Foothills who already dropped a few comments before we went live. He's really happy that you're here.
all right.
Niner J is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on,
Hey,
man?
what's
Glad to have you.
happening? What's going on, yo? What's up, Eagle Nation? What's going on, man? How you doing, Lindy?
What's up, man? I mean, the day has finally come. We're gonna get this thing underway, man. We
Yes,
got
sir.
a we already got Big Play Slay in the building. What's up? And
Oh
Niner J
man,
to
what's going
go.
on?
Can't wait for this one.
Hey, yes, sir. What's up, big place? Hey, what's good, boy?
You already know. Gonna expect Foothills in here at some point, but man, let's get this thing underway. So, I mean,
Let's
uh,
go.
pre-draft, pre-draft, the situation with San Fran, there was a lot of drama going on there. You guys really had
Yes.
no idea what quarterback you guys were going to go with at number three. Justin Fields was in consideration. Were you guys going to try and steal Trevor Lawrence from Jacksonville? Was it going to be Trey Lance? Was it going to be Mac Jones? What was it going to be Zach Wilson? There was a lot. It seemed to be a lot of options from the quarterback perspective for San Fran to go, and then you have the decision of what Jimmy Garoppolo is going to end up being in the future. So I mean, number three comes, and you guys take Trey Lance. Take me back to that day when you selected him and how you felt, how you and how the rest of the 49ers fans felt on the selection of taking the product out of North Dakota State.
Well, that man, it was definitely, I would say, more torture than anything because we didn't really know where they were going to sway. When Mac Jones was in discussion, it was kind of like, are you kidding me? Like we traded all this capital and this far for this guy, like Jimmy G 2.0, like, you know what I mean? And then watching pro days and everything like that, and watching Mac Jones on his pro day, and then watching him overthrow receiver, which which is kind of weird, you know what I mean? Was like, okay, they kind of reassured me, like, okay, Kyle's seen this before, in a Super Bowl with the quarterback he has now. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna go with a Mac Jones. When the day happened and then they announced the draft, I'm gonna be totally honest, and Philly Foothills knows this for sure because I was a Justin Fields guy from day one. Not an Ohio State guy at all. I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, and watching Justin Fields, I was just like, this dude is pro ready. If you're ready for a rookie to come in and take control of a team that's Super Bowl ready, this is the guy. So when the announcement was Trey Lance, I was kind of, at first I was like, oh, Justin Fields was there, you know what I mean? But it was just a quick kind of like, I was like, okay, bummed out. But when they said Trey Lance, I was like, all right, cool, because before the draft process and everything, they were doing their whole profiles on the quarterbacks, and then Trey Lance comes from North Dakota State, running a pro style offense. And the thing that impressed me the most about what I heard about Trey Lance is that he actually calls the plays at the line, calls the blocking and everything like that, which no rookie quarterback does. I mean, no college quarterback does. You know what I mean? So that kind of was like, okay, now kind of like, you know, uh, 55, 45 Justin Fields. Um, but the moment when Trey Lance's name was called, it was kind of like, okay, bummed out for maybe a quick, maybe 5 minutes. And then when they were doing their highlights on Trey Lance, I was kind of like, All right. You kind of swayed me over with the Trey Lance pick, and I just been in love. I just been in love with the kid ever since. You know what I mean? And then when he was, they were at rookie minicamp and stuff like that, watching, videos on that, I fell in love with our pick, and it was, I think, with him and Kyle working together, I think we chose the right quarterback.
Yeah, and I
But I'm just letting you know right now. Oh, sorry. I was just letting you know, like, you had the fan base, the Niner fan base, knowing that we were gonna get Lawrence, knowing we were gonna get Wilson. We were like 50-50 Fields and Lance, but 100% sure that we did not want Mac Jones at all. So
man, I mean, well, so we got Lucas Hallman in the house as well, part of the HPL. Good to see you, my guy. You know, up and coming high schooler, still following his dream of playing basketball. Runs part of a carpet basketball league for the HPL. Shout out to Lucas in the building. Birdman
let's
951 in the
go.
house as well. Shouting
Yeah.
out number 4 on the like button already. He says, "What's good, Niner J? The Niners are going down against my birds." So we're already there. We're already there in the
I
chat so
love it.
far.
I love it. Let's go. Let's go. I love it, bro. I love it. Let's do it.
We're already
We're
there
gonna come
so
back. We're gonna
far.
come back to the. Yeah. We're gonna come back to after week 2. We're gonna come back and then I mean, I want to get back on your show, and it'd be like, hey, those who said we knew that we were going down. I mean, a little bit happened, but hey, man, I love it. Let's go.
And yeah, I mean, the amount of promise that Trey Lance has shown coming out of college, and it's unfortunate that his time there was cut short due to the
Right.
pandemic, where he only plays one game in 2020. But a lot of what went into the decision for San Fran, had to have come from his sophomore year in 2019. A completion percentage of 67% on 287 attempts. He also ran the ball. He also ran the ball very well. Recorded just under
Right.
3,000 yards. Because he's also a very good scrambler. He can, and he's got
Right.
that build. At 6'4", 225, he can run guys over as like a running back type of style. He gets you know almost 10 yards per attempt, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A lot of promising numbers there, and it's funny how he comes from the same program as Carson Wentz did, and we already know when Carson came from there that he was a champion for the Bison's, and Trey led the team on very similar, they have very similar goals and aspirations there, and he did his work. So even through that, it seems like going into training camp this year with Trey Lance, and Jimmy Garoppolo is still there. There's a lot of reports out now that Trey is taking this very seriously. He's not, he's not acting like a rookie. It seems like he wants it to be this team, and um, I'm wondering where that's going to fit in terms of competition perspective. To where Jimmy Garoppolo just took you guys to a Super Bowl not too long ago against Kansas City, and now what it's like. What is going to be the next? What's the next change of direction here? I mean, you feel it's going to be Jimmy G as your starter week 1, or is Trey Lance going to end up taking the job?
So thing is, competition brings out the best. You know what I mean? And with with Trey Lance, wowing in camp and the coaches raving about him and his teammates. Yeah, he's done work with the first team. I just hope uses this as motivation to even to work even that much more hard. Harder. You know what I mean? Like for instance, after camp, after practice the other day, he stayed after practice to work on his long balls. You know what I mean? So I just hope he's using this to use this to don't look at it as okay. Well, I'm gonna get replaced. Use it as man. Okay, this is my team. This is who I took them to the Super Bowl. Um, and work and try and be that starter. And I think there's outside of the 49er fan base, there's a stigma for us Niner fans outside of like us, and people are like, well, why Jimmy brought you to the Super Bowl not too long ago? Why do you guys want to get rid of him? the thing is, in order for us to win and get you back to this, you need to be you need to be on the field. You know what I mean? He has a great record, 22-8 when he's a starter. You know what I mean? And then we're 7-20, 29 when he's not. But he's not healthy enough. You know what I mean? And we make it because he has shown during his time with us, or even with New England, he hasn't been healthy. You know. Now, from like to me, honestly, I would go with Jimmy as my starter and in the first preseason game. You know what I mean? Like just play him in the preseason, see how he does and everything. I honestly believe like he should be the regular season starter. But hey, if you want to do it into the preseason, go ahead and do it, see how it goes. But for me, because Trey's only 21 years old, we do not want to rush it to where we put him out on the field and something happened. You know what I mean? Like we kind of we kind of over rushed it and like had him playing when he wasn't ready. I don't want that to happen. You know, I want him when he's ready. But that's not for me to decide. You know, that's for the coaches. So if they feel like game one or week one that Trey Lance is the guy, then we roll with it. But to me, we should go with Jimmy. Just the fact that say Jimmy record does well, that's gonna help us when we try to trade him away eventually. You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe we could recoup that second round pick that we lost that we gave up for him or something. You know, so but for me, I think we should go with Jimmy week one. But Trey Lance is just definitely making that very difficult to make that decision on who should be the starter.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, from an outside perspective for San Fran here, and yeah, Birdman, yeah, we do, yeah, we were trying to work around it
Yes.
and see if we can adjust and adjust the volume a little bit more, but you know, I guess yeah, it's either, yeah, I'm not sure. It's like it's either a bad. I don't know if it's a bad connection or not. But yeah, we tried to work around it as best as we could. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's we'll just make the necessary adjustments. Got the headset on. Just to make it work, man. It's about it's about this actually happening in the content or whatever. Technology sometimes limits us, and it is what it is. But you know
Yeah. I'll
with
try to talk louder or something.
yeah, it's okay, man. No big deal. But I mean, you're talking about from an athleticism perspective here with Trey Lance that he's a lot more athletic than Jimmy Garoppolo is. Like he offers a different look as a quarterback on the field, and for you guys in training camp, like that has to be an element that's going to make your defense better. And then you take for example that in that NFC, I think it's the NFC West that you guys are a part of in that division. I mean, you guys have to play quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson twice, twice a year.
Yeah.
That's 4 games dealing with two
Multiple.
scrambling guy quarterbacks that are able to scramble and make plays with their legs and improvise when a play starts to break down. And while you guys and it seems like with Trey, you guys now have that in house, so it's an extra
Mhm.
form of preparation that you can go in, and that'll just make you guys better defensively to face quarterbacks of a similar type of game plan there.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's another reason why Kyle had him Trey work with the first team as well. So to help out the defense, I think if that were to if Jimmy were to go one and stuff like that, I think they would use Trey Lance. I mean, in practice, just to get the team ready for, like you said, like those Russell Wilsons, Kyler Murray, and stuff like that. So, um, but I mean, Trey's just making it very, very difficult to be like, okay, Jimmy's our guy. You know what I mean? Because he's just, like you said, not only does he have the build and the mobility, it's just he's making the throws. That's the thing about it. He's making those throws that you should be making, and he's doing it at his age. You know what I mean? Like as like a veteran, like throws that Jimmy should be making, he's doing. He's just killing them on. You know what I mean? And that's why it's just Trey's just making this whole situation just difficult. But I mean, it's great. It's great. position to be in. Um, Honestly, I can't wait to see what the kid can do. Yeah, he only had one game last year because of the pandemic, and I mean, I definitely want to see him in game time. You know what I mean? And with offense stuff like that, and playing those NFL defenses.
Yeah, so I mean, it's yeah, definitely, dude. Let me see here. Let's look up a couple of notes here because I mean, Trey Lance has been the talk of the town for San Fran. It seems like guys like Trent Sherfield and
Sherfield,
Trent Williams, they're making strides. They're making strides for that offense. Um, I think it was Sherfield who's trying to fight for that wide receiver three spot for San Fran. Outside of guys like Brandon Ayuk and the other
Debo
yeah,
Samuel,
there,
Debo Samuel.
there it is. I
Yeah.
almost forgot about him. I almost forgot about him. You got him, and George Kittle seems to be coming back into stride again, and
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that. You guys ended up picking up a couple more players off of the COVID list. You guys got a corner back and one of your wide receivers. One of your wide receivers are also included in that activation. But you guys have to imagine from a secondary perspective, knowing that Richard Sherman has not really signed anywhere. He's still a free agent. I don't think he went back to San Fran. And you got guys coming off of the COVID list who are who you guys need to make an impact to help out that secondary, especially where there's doesn't seem to be much promise on the opposite side of Jason Verrett. So I think getting that corner activated off of the COVID list should help you guys out from the cornerback room.
Yes, yeah. With Mosley coming back off the list, that's gonna help us a lot. He is a starter with on the other side of Verrett, and then you have K'Wan Williams. Um, I know our secondary doesn't look like it's gonna be the top secondary, but I mean we will surprise some people. Every Thomas out of Michigan, a young player that I'm actually really high on. He's made some plays in camp and stuff like that. And then, back there you had Jimmy Ward. When healthy, is probably one of the best, up there with the best safeties in the league. When healthy, though. So with Mosley coming back, that's big because it brings continuity back. And then Verrett, like I said, if he's healthy as well, he's probably the top five corner in the league. You know what I mean? So. Um, I think our secondary will surprise some people. I think people will because they underestimate us already in the secondary. They always talk about our line and our linebackers, which they should. I mean, our linebackers are monsters. Our D line is just crazy, but our secondary will be that will be the sleeper that people will be like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? Like those corners get at it. So
Yeah, and it's a shame because you guys went through one of the one of the worst situations last year due to COVID, and injuries seemed to hit you even worse than COVID did. And now that you guys have like even players on the defensive line in back in the system again, and whether it's Bosa or D Ford, and those big guys in the
yeah,
trenches, then you guys ended up signing Davin Bellamy to a contract after seeing the retirement of Anthony Zettel. So, if like, what is your take on the retirement of Anthony, and have you seen anything that you necessarily like in Bellamy coming over from the Houston Texans?
well with Zetto, he wasn't gonna be like a breakout player. I mean, just someone in the rotation and depth to break, just to be a solid, depth chart guy to come in, whenever some guys need rest. Bellamy, don't not too familiar with him. He is a Texan, so I'm not too sure. I don't really, you know, I haven't watched really too much film on him. The two pickups that we did this offseason that I really like, and that's going to add more more like boost to our defensive line is Marcel Hurst, the former Raider, and Arden Key, who Key is just a lengthy, defensive end who can get after the quarterback, but also bat down balls when we need it. You know what I mean? And Marcel Hurst is just a big dude, interior lineman that just can get in there and just blow up a running game or something. You know what I mean? Get in there and get in the backfield and just blow up that running game. I'm really I was really high on those two. Zettel, like I said, he brought depth and solid play. I mean, I really want to see how he does in the preseason and see what he can bring to our defensive line.
Yeah, sure. It's always great to have some depth after seeing people go through retirement, and it's crazy because Zettel was a 2016 draft pick, so it's not like it's not like he was necessarily old. I don't
Oh
think.
yeah,
Um, but it was unfortunate for that to have happened. But at least you have somebody as like a depth piece to replace him. I think Bellamy I think he was undrafted when Houston picked him up. So yeah, it was. Let me see. He went undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent in 2018. Texans picked him up that year, so he swapped between the practice squads of them and the Cincinnati Bengals until he was released from the Tennessee Titans this year on a reserve futures deal. So I mean, yeah, he falls into your lap, helps out from a depth perspective there, and I mean that's that's pretty much all there is to know from that spot. So week
right.
two is going into the regular season here. Week two is going to come around the corner. Eventually, it seems like it's coming pretty quick. Preseason games are near. The Hall of Fame game just happened yesterday with the Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers. So I mean, everybody's getting excited. Like this is one of the best
Yeah,
times of the year. NFL football and
this is very exciting. Yep.
Sunday games. Those glorified Sundays, whether it's at noon or 4 o'clock. All the times that we're used to. So knowing
Right.
knowing week two, San Fran actually pays Philadelphia a visit this year after we headed to San Fran last year, and I'm pretty sure you guys didn't like the fact of us getting to face either Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard. You guys would have probably rather have liked to have Jimmy G there and seen what him versus Wentz would have been. But now
Yeah.
now we ended up picking up Nick Mullins. So I'm sure you had a decent amount of time watching Nick as a quarterback for the 49ers, and come up in the
Yes.
league as an undrafted quarterback. With the likes of a former teammate who is a second-year player on our team. So Nick Mullins and Quez Watkins know each other pretty well. So it's nice that there's a bit of a connection nugget there.
History.
Uh, but
Right.
so I mean, when we talk about Nick Mullins here, and he comes in and he's doing supposedly well in camp so far, but it seems to us that there's no way that he's going to challenge Joe Flacco to a backup role, and I mean, from the looks of it, he seems to be that he's going to be a decent camp body in terms of the practice squad. So, I mean, were you
Hmm.
when you realized that Nick Mullins had to play for you guys? Uh, can't imagine that wasn't necessarily the end of the world, but I mean, is there
Right.
like I guess watching Nick Mullins play, do you have any sort of small nuggets that you can give on how well he did or didn't perform on what he can provide to the locker room for the Eagles?
Right. I mean, Nick Mullins he's a good quarterback. He's gonna be a solid backup wherever he's at. He's a leader. The first game he ever started was against the Raiders, and then after that game, He got the locker room, talked to the locker room, talked to the locker room guys and stuff like that. Brought them together, just hype them up. You know what I mean? He's a leader. I don't know what happened last year. I had really high hopes when we lost Jimmy and he was coming in. I was very confident that he would be able to get us to at least an 8-8 record. You know what I mean? Um, Something happened. I don't know what happened to his confidence or what last year, but I think he just needed a new start. Kid's got he's mobile. He can throw the football. Um, like I said, he's also a good leader too. I mean, Gray, he's not good. He's not going to be your number one starter, but I mean, someone to just be there, pick up the locker room guys, just to when times are tough. You know what I mean? He he was his first year. He was. I thought he was pretty accurate with the football. Like I said last year, I don't know what happened to his confidence. Maybe he was feeling himself a little too much. But he can get the job done. If he needs to come in as a backup, for 2 or 3 games. I mean, he can go 2-1 or 3-0. You know what I mean? He's like I said, he's not going to be your franchise quarterback. He's just going to be that guy. If your number one is out for like a week or two, he can fill that role for say for that time being. Um, to me, he's just he's also vocal as well. Get down the sidelines early. He's a quarterback that if you're looking for a couple games to fill in when your QB's down, that he's that guy. He's a pretty good solid quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's pretty positive to hear. Coming from a Niners fan and us picking him up in free agency, where Eagles fans at one time were like, "Oh, we should give Jamie Newman a chance," and this and that, and Joe Flacco got paid too much money to be a backup, and here, well, Joe Flacco is still looking like the backup so far, and Jamie Newman ends up getting cut before he gets waived before he reaches training camp because he didn't seem to show anything different that the coaching staff would have liked to have had. So. You know, but looks like I lost him for a second here. Uh-oh. No big deal, but I mean, yeah, it just it makes a lot of sense to for those still viewing. It does make a lot of sense, what he's talking about with Nick Mullins, and it's nice, it's nice as an undrafted guy with him coming in and showing, what the like the third string and everything as hopefully he refreshes here and I can add him back in a second. There he is. There we go. Looks like it got refreshed there right quick. That worked out, but
all right. Sorry about that. Sorry.
yeah, there we go. No big deal, man. No big deal. That's yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we all good. But no, yeah, just it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense with Nick Mullins. Definitely, and just after us not seeing Jamie Newman make a difference, and we pay Joe Flacco as much as he does. So, you just don't know. You never know with these second or third string quarterbacks on the potential of them becoming a backup one of these days. And yeah, I mean, from what we're hearing so far, Mullins has done pretty good with the third string. He's lighting some of our defenses up in that in the string, and he's hit a couple of tight ends, and Adrian Killens is getting hit, and Tyree Jackson is getting hit. And, he seems to be developing connections to some of these these second and third string players. So that's a good sign. And he's only like 26, 27 years old. So he's a project that you can build on. Whereas Flacco is a seasoned veteran at 37. So there's it's not like there's much time left. So with that said, we go into the week 2 matchup, and now like we were saying, the 49ers go in. They pay a visit to Philly like we were just there last year. This is going to be the season opener for the Eagles. with stands allowed back in back at the Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah.
So man, you can only imagine
Right. Right.
the
Right.
kind how elevated of an atmosphere there's going to be for this battle between it, at the moment it seems between Jalen Hurts and maybe Trey Lance. I mean, I guess it depends on how Trey continues to look in camp if he beats out Jimmy for the starting spot. But I mean, from the outside looking in, seeing what the Eagles have done so far, outside of some negative drama with this Deshaun Watson situation, um, Jalen Hurts fighting for the number one as the starting quarterback. He hasn't necessarily been named the starter yet. I think Nick Sirianni is wanting to maintain that competitive vibe and wants to give everyone a chance to prove themselves. He's not going to count his chickens immediately. This is his first season as a head coach at this position, so it's all about him
Right.
creating his image. So, like from the outside looking in, you know, like how do you feel so far the Eagles look in terms of an overall team compared to San Francisco, who's got a nice now both teams seem to have a nice blend of young players and savvy veterans. So
Yes.
stacked
Right.
against
Right.
each other, how do the Eagles look compared to your 49ers?
We'll put this out there right now. You probably only some viewers, but the Niners do look a lot better. No, but uh, honestly, I think the Eagles are going to be a lot better than what you guys were last year. I with the whole Carson Wentz drama done. I know some Eagle fans are probably going to rip my head off, but I think it was a blessing in disguise that you guys got rid of Carson Wentz. Philly Foothills is probably going to kill me when he sees me, but yeah, when it was just too much drama that was distracting the team. Like, what's going on with it? Is he gonna be healthy? Is he gonna come? Like, what is he doing to play? With knowing that Jalen Hurts not named the starting quarterback, but he's gonna be the starting quarterback, and there's no doubt. You have Joe Flacco, Nick Mullins, and then Jamie Newman. Yeah, Hurts is the quarterback. But with him at quarterback, you bring that element of you have he's that new NFL quarterback. The game against Green Bay last year, I was just kind of like, okay, you all brought him in. I'm like, okay, let's see what Jalen Hurts has. And then he came in, and I'm just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like he got that wow factor, And then granted, during the season he did, ups and downs and stuff like that. But that's what any young quarterback with the full year and then with preseason, being able to play preseason and stuff like that. I mean, Jalen Hurts is going to do nothing but get better. Um, I always was a Miles Sanders fan. I love that dude. Ever since he was at Penn State, I like how the kid ran. He was always one of my favorite running backs in the league. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the exposure as like Derrick Henry or like a Zeke Elliott or whatever, but he gets job done, and he's the running back that can literally do everything. But you guys are a lot better this year than you were last year. I think with the whole, like I said, the whole Carson Wentz drama out the way, it makes you guys focus on, okay, now this is that's out of the way. We got this going on. Let's go. You know what I mean? And I mean, yeah, you guys lost, Zach Ertz and stuff like that, which it hurts. But I mean, like I said, I think you guys have a sprinkle of young talent with veterans and stuff. I think you guys should be at least second team, maybe not the first team uh, out of the NFC East, because I'm looking at the NFC East right now. I'm like, yeah, Washington has that defense, but Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzmagic, they're not really scaring me. You know what I mean? To you know to have a explode, have an offense that's explosion, and then Daniel Jones he's still I think he's a bust factor. You know what I mean? And then the Cowboys are, I mean, just the Cowboys. They got talent, but don't they got talent, but no one to direct that. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Eagles. I mean, it's your division to take this year, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on your show. I would say the same thing if I was on like if I were ever on a Cowboys Giants or whatever. I would have the Eagles as the number one team out of the East. Um, Granted, you know what I mean, because I mean, no offense, it's not the strongest, division. So that made it easy
Yeah,
for you
no.
guys to go ahead and take over and win that. So, but what I've seen from and then what I've seen too, I mean, your defense too. You guys both your defense out too, so it's a lot better than it was last season. And I feel like you guys should blow out for blow up this year than what you guys did last season. So I think that whole way, like I said, the whole win drama out of the way. I think you guys are just gonna go on from here and just start riding out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, it seems that the Carson Wentz is, that all that drama, like it seemed to be the common storm cloud that was just hanging over the Philadelphia Eagles as a whole, and one of trying to figure out like what's happening here. Is he actually going to leave? Is he going to stay? We bring in a
yeah,
like a byproduct of Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni, hopefully thinking that Carson would be okay with it, and in this case, the next best thing didn't work, and he wanted to go to Indianapolis the whole time. He goes there, and now it ends up being Jalen Hurts' team. Doug Peterson is gone. First year head coach, first year defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator coming from the Chargers. Uh, I think he's a first year. Think he's a first year linebackers coach, Nick Rallis, coming over from the Minnesota Vikings, only 27 years old. New cornerbacks coach, special teams.
right,
There's a lot. Like there's a lot to look into here for Philly, and you can only imagine that it's almost obvious. Like they can't be any worse than what they were last year. 4-11 with a tie to the Bengals. I mean, I mean, really, and this is with our supposed franchise quarterback under a contract extension. So, there's
quarterback, correct,
like going into this year,
right,
there's a lot that these guys are going to want to prove, not just from a rookie standpoint or year two standpoint, but there's a lot of hungry dogs on this team, and like it was shown during the Super Bowl year, hungry dogs run faster, and whether it's
right,
that or the underdog mentality, this year it's probably going to hold true. And while the NFC least is least right now, because nobody's really afraid of the NFC East. Obviously
mm,
not. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of validity in how you describe the division. I mean, yeah, Washington has to put it together with their quarterback. I think that's going to be the
right,
sole factor in how well the team is going to perform. The New York Giants. It's still about the question of Daniel Jones. Like you get him all of these weapons.
right,
The defense just gets improved a little bit. But Kyle Rudolph goes over there. Kenny Galladay goes over there. You're adding
and
Kadarius Toney out of the draft. I mean, it's like there's so many weapons now for Daniel Jones. There's almost no excuses for him to be, bad, if not worse, than he was in previous years. And then you get to Dallas. Mike
mm,
McCarthy is still the head coach. Dak gets his extension. Him having that bad like
yeah,
Alex Smith type injury last year. Him trying to bounce back, and now he's dealing with shoulder issues. So it seems
right,
that the definition over for Dallas is them maintaining some sort of healthy atmosphere over there. But they got promising guys out of the draft, and Kelvin Joseph and Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox was one of the linebackers
right,
on my radar that we didn't take, unfortunately. But
yeah.
overall, I'm still happy with the
Oh,
Eagles draft
I just
class.
wanted it to.
We grabbed Devontae Smith. Still shocked about that one. We're just hoping that
Yes,
he
really, yeah,
gets healthy, because he had that knee sprain. I think it was an MCL sprain in his knee. So we're just going to have to monitor that and be
right,
precautious on it. That fantastic talent on the offensive line and Landon Dickerson, and then we get into some analytic picks, whether it's Milton Williams, and you think of Patrick Johnson and Jacoby Stevens, and a lot of these late round picks who are making a name for themselves as well. Like there's a lot of opportunity on the Eagles roster for them to make an impact. So I mean, so I guess we get to being that our window is coming to a close here, we're reaching the maximum. We're at 40 minutes. Appreciate everybody that has come into the stream and hang out with us. But we'll drop it down to two last things here. First and foremost, we'll go with a record prediction as to how well you think the 49ers are going to perform this year based on their strength of schedule. And then finish it off with a week 2 prediction. So how well do you think your 49ers are going to do this year?
I will give them an 11-6 record this year.
Okay.
I feel very strong with our team. I mean, we're so far what I'm hearing, we've been we've been healthy enough. I mean, yeah, there's been some COVID, players on the COVID and stuff like that. But I feel like we're healthy enough. We can make a good run, a playoff run, even make it to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel confident with my team. We have a lot of players that are from the Super Bowl team still on the team, and I just feel like that continuity, that chemistry, and everything. I mean, the NFC West is ours. You know what I mean? So.
Pretty bold prediction with with the opponents with the opponents that you have in your division, but that's
right.
I mean, as a fan base, that's how we are no matter what. We want our team to be as good as it possibly can. Now, excuse me, you say 11-6. Is that with Garoppolo or is that with Trey Lance?
Damn you, Lindy. No.
Honestly,
I was just gonna leave it as 11-6, no matter what quarterback is under center. That's all.
Okay.
That's how I feel very confident. But yeah, no matter what quarterback is under center, I still feel like we will be 11-6. So.
Okay, cool.
But remember, last year,
right.
Seattle was the only team. Seattle was the only team last year that swept us in our division. We got one out of Arizona, and then we swept the Rams. So I mean, it's a possibility that we could go, 5-1 or something. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. There's good sense of optimism there then. And you guys weren't exactly healthy last year, nor did you have the quarterback that you wanted. Yeah, that's true. So. My Eagles are a little bit different, and obviously our situation is nowhere near the type of situation that San Fran is dealing with right now, and we're as it stands, Jalen Hurts is most likely not going to be the starter of this football team, and he continues to improve every single day. There is no Wentz drama anymore of him getting drafted last year when we already had a franchise quarterback, and trying to make Jalen into a Taysom Hill type of guy and like a gadget quarterback that was never going to work. That's not who he is. So now that all the focus is on him, and you get him a Devontae Smith, who, arguably being the best receiver in the draft, was also a former teammate of his. I still feel that was the perfect pick for Jalen Hurts. His quarterback coach has known him since childhood. You bring in Brian Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of familiarity here with Jalen Hurts where, I can't get the feeling that he's not going to be the starter or that he's not going to be the quarterback to work on moving forward, because if he wasn't, then you wouldn't make these types of moves. Although, it may set you up pretty well in the future, whoever the quarterback is. But right now, the focus seems to be on Jalen Hurts. So I'm pretty confident in saying that. Record-wise, I've been keeping realistic as much as possible for the Eagles. I'm not, I can't go overboard and saying that we're going to win like 11, 12, or 13 games, even though the season is 17 instead of 16. But, based on what's going on right now, for the longest time, I've had the Eagles set at a over and under of 8 games. So best case scenario for me, they go about 9-8 or 10-7. Worst case scenario, they probably go 7-10. Now, yeah, a record under 500 doesn't sound good on the surface, but when you add context to that, it then turns into the conversation of, well, how did the team look in those losses? Like, were they still competitive? What kind of mistakes were they making? Did they get blown out? There's a lot of factors to consider there. So even if the Eagles have a record below 500, at a max spread of 3 or 4 games, like if they go 6-11, or if they go 6-11 or 7-10, I think it's just about, like Nick Sirianni says, getting 1% better every day. So I mean, although I sound like a Debbie Downer with with having that kind of prediction on the negative side,
Right.
positively it could very well turn around. So I'm hoping for about a record of 10-7. Being that the NFC least is, still realistically up for grabs, because nobody knows exactly how well every team is going to perform. We all have our issues that we have to work out. So, um, with the, and of course, we have some tough games early in our schedule. Kansas City pays a visit. Tampa Bay pays a visit. We got the Chargers on our schedule. We're not sure how the Raiders are going to look. Games like that. But to conclude the stream, to get this concluded, save the best for last. Week 2 prediction. Who takes that game for the Eagles'
Right.
season opener in Philly when San Fran comes to town?
It's going to be Trey Lance of the San Francisco 49ers.
Predictable.
It'll be the Niners take it. Yeah. So it'll be the Niners taking it. And honestly, I mean, no, like I said, Eagles fans, y'all great, everything, but I feel like and the score, I believe, would be 31-17 Niners.
Okay, that's pretty fair. I was thinking that it was going to be around a one. Yeah, I think it was going to be around like a 1-2 score game. Even if the Eagles take it, it could very well be like a +3 differential. So I don't know, because I mean,
Right.
for me, the Eagles have one of the best home field advantages in the NFL when they're not booing their own players. But I think it's going to be,
Right.
all in all, I think it's going to be a different atmosphere at the end of the day. The Eagles fans have been wanting this for the longest time. They get back to the link. Carson is not there anymore. That drama is removed. Everyone's so excited about Jalen Hurts and all that. So I think behind the impact of the crowd and this team wanting to make a difference, like they're trying to say that we're not the 2020 Eagles. This is a new season. So I think that we're going to punch teams in the mouth this year, unexpectedly. And like I said, depending on who the quarterback is for the 49ers, I have a feeling that we're capable of beating both. It may be harder to beat Trey Lance instead of Jimmy Garoppolo, because I think we have a better idea on how to play Jimmy G than we do Trey Lance. Trey is a rookie. There's no tape. There's no NFL tape on him. He's going to be a little more. He'll be a little bit more difficult to figure out, depending on how much of a workload and the play calling that San Fran's going to give him. So I think. I think it'll probably be a one-score game either way, no matter which quarterback we face, and I think our spread would either be +3 or +7.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
We're keeping it respectable. We're
+7.
keeping it
Yeah.
respectable.
Check
I
that. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it.
We are. Yes, we are.
But
Definitely.
but you know what, man? Got lost in the sauce on a couple of things you already know, but we're a little bit
Uh,
over that threshold of allowance, man.
and
I can't thank you enough for stopping by and giving us your take on the 49ers for my channel as I get back to the Eagles schedule recon and going over every NFL team that the Eagles play this year. And I'm very appreciative that you were able to support your San Francisco 49ers in this stream. Even though we couldn't, even though there were some difficulties with the audio and whatnot, that doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about putting out good content. So I definitely appreciate it, Niner Jake, and yeah, you got some fans in the fans in the chat, man. So make sure you get your shout outs out there to the chat. You got some fans there, so.
Oh man, just want to shout out like you, bro, for having me on. Thank you. Hopefully this is the last time I'm on. Hopefully I can come on a few more times. Shout out to Philly Foothills and Big Play Slay. The Eagle fans are dope, man. What I mean, I'm always glad. I'm just happy to talk about football. It's just right there, it's right around the corner. So man, let's get it, man. Hopefully we'll talk after week 2. So.
Yeah, no doubt. And before we get out of here, a quick little nugget. Jordy stopped by quick, so I thought I'd let the two of you know that Jordy has his own channel in which he does 3 different podcasts, and one of those podcasts is that Jordy Fighter is a big fighting Irish fan. So be sure to check him out when he talks about Notre Dame. So, you just got done saying that you love Notre Dame. So that's a nice suggestion there. So there you go. Check out Jordy for his Golden Dome podcast.
Golden Dome. Oh, that's dope. Okay, cool. Hey, Jordy, this is how big of a Notre Dame fan I am. Ron Paulus is my favorite quarterback out of Notre Dame. Hopefully, so I'll just put it out there. So that's what I'm saying. Anyways, but man, thank you for having me on. Can't wait for the season to start, and hopefully I'll be on again soon.
Absolutely, Niner Jay. It was a pleasure having you on here, man. I'm just very appreciative that you took the time out, and you just you just added to your family, and congrats on that. It's busy times, man, but it just means more that you were able to donate some of your time to come on my channel and talk about your favorite football team. So everybody, thanks again to Niner Jay. This has been Lindy Endzone in the house, part of the Eagles schedule recon for San Francisco 49ers. We'll catch you guys next time. Fly Eagles, fly bleed green, and go Mavericks. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
All right.